Hello everybody, it is Monday the 9th of September. I want to go back onto my trail about thinking about these gods. Now, again, I listened to Mauro Biglino yesterday, and that was actually a very poignant video, and I leave the link to that in the description box. Now, for starters, a lot of what is in that video, he is reading from translations of the Sumerian clay tablets. So that's the first thing, because now people say, well, Bible is the only truth, it's the only true account of God. Now the Sumerian tablets are obviously a lot earlier, and actually they are accounts of what was happening at the time. So they are accounts of an experience that is experienced at that moment. Whereas the Bible and all other texts were a recount and really recounting the story without a true understanding with what was actually happening there, which then led to religion and to worshipping these beings as superior, as the powerful ones, as the ones that are ruling over us. I just had a comment saying that only a superior soul would create religion. No, religion is taking you away from the truth. The truth is what Jesus taught later. I'll come to that, because that was the only blip in the entire book that was actually true spirituality. The rest is technology. And that is what is described in those texts. And I would say the earlier, the more it describes what is happening at the moment, the truer those texts are. So this is where we're at. Now, I've already heard, about the benevolent gods that did all these things for us. Now, again, the texts describe that the grain that we used came from the gods. Yeah, they gave the grain to man to work the fields. So they gave us the tools and the knowledge of agriculture, which is what is recounted not only in the Sumerian text, but in many other ancient stories of people all over the world. And yes, there seems to have been an intervention where we were genetically engineered ourselves to give us as greater intelligence, greater capacity for understanding. So God did all these gods did all these wonderful things for us. Now the first thing I have to say is they did not do it for us. They did not do it for us, they did it for themselves, to create a workforce that could do these things for them. So, and yes, they would show up at harvest time to get their cut, which is what they lived off. And then again, if you go later on in our own history, that was then a feudal system, because that's what the feudal lords did. Yeah, they had the people working the land, and then they came and got their cut, because the people and the land belonged to them. And again, that's what it says in the Bible. Everything that is in the world belongs to them. We are their property. They created us into a property that could work for them better. They did not do it for us. And then the other thing that I think that was Paul Wallace said, and they showed the women, the knowledge of finery and of makeup. What? They brought us vanity? They taught us vanity? How brilliant. Good, thank you. Fantastic. Especially if you see the outcomes of vanity these days. The grotesque outcomes of vanity gone wild. Yeah, great knowledge. We should have had that. So, okay, we were hunter-gatherers at the time. They created us into this being that could do agriculture, that was capable of even doing the work and understanding the work. And they gave us the tools and the grain, but they didn't do it for our benefit. They did it for themselves. And yeah, if you read the text now, well, no, the other thing is, and Mauro Biglino is quite right, when we were hunter-gatherers, yeah, we ate and we were being eaten, in a way. I mean, we were already above the animal, but we were still part of nature. This sudden change in our state of being has really elevated us out of nature in a way that neither nature nor we had time to even cope with the change. So in that, they did not actually do us a great favor. Evolution may have taken us there slowly anyway, in a way that was balanced with everything else. Didn't get that chance. So, but we're left with that. Yeah, we're left with being elevated out of nature without having a place in it anymore, and we're becoming destructive. So where do we go from here? Now, the one thing I want to say, if you really understand those texts and you see that it is talking about technological beings, yeah? The fish, Jonah's fish is a submarine. The glory of God, the kavod, is a flying ship. Yeah? If you see the truth of that, what it actually describes, and you say now, well, the world is being made ready for the return of the gods. Yeah? The bride is being prepared for the return of the gods. Then, yeah, and Jesus will return with them. Yeah? And he will. That is where he went. That's where Enoch went. That's where Elijah went. Moses, most likely. That is where they went. So they will all return. So if you understand that it is technology, then you will see that it is actually the technocrats in this world that are preparing the bride for the return of the gods, for the return of Jesus. It is not some spiritual church that is laying, preparing the way. It's the technocrats. They are the true followers of those gods. So then let me come to, as I said, there was a blip in that book that was true spirituality. And I don't know how they worked that. I really don't know. But if you think that that one of them, Jesus, one of them actually managed to manifest in a human body, so therefore have the true human experience. I don't know how they did that. No idea. But that is what happened. And that is what is described in the book. He is the Son of God, being here as a man, in a human body, having the fullness of the human experience. And then what he did, the healing and all the others that we are described as the miracles, that was a knowledge born out of the human experience. That was not the gods, that was humanity. And really, that is the knowledge we have to have, not the knowledge of their spaceships. It's the knowledge that Jesus had when having the human experience. And that was then really a true connection to the Creator. And really, what he said, the Father is in all He's within you, all around you. By him everything is created. Without him nothing is created. He sustains all, the birds in the air, the lilies in the field. And whatsoever you ask for in prayer, know that you have received it, and it will be yours. That is a true connection to the Creator. And he had that connection whilst being in the human body, whilst having his being in a human body. And that is the knowledge we have to have, because that would lead us to complete independence. We should obviously use that knowledge wisely, especially if Jesus said that in the Father, in the Creator, there is no judgment. So we must be of sound judgment about what it is we're asking for. But that is the way that will save us. Now, let me make very clear, Jesus took that knowledge and he went back to where he came from. In the human body, he took the book of life, the book of knowledge, the book of life, the body. He took that back to them. Again, he ascended. And even though there was not a visible ship there, there's no description of a visible kavod, spaceship there. Tell me, where does an entire body go to when it goes up into the air? An entire solid body, where does it go to? Really start being real about this, because the knowledge of the Creator is experienced reality. So be real about it. Where the hell did he go? And an entire body, unless there was something there that he could go to. If he went out into space, he would have died. So he brought that knowledge to them. And that was his way. The way of denial of self would lead you there. To them. Those that are now the technocrats have denied their humanity. And they are in service to them. And then how do they use spiritual knowledge? They do. Far viewing is one of the best examples that I can think of. How do they use far viewing? They use it to have advantages on the battlefield. To give them a military advantage. That's how they use spiritual knowledge. And that is how they will use all spiritual knowledge in a way that serves them. Not life, not this planet, not this world. If we have spiritual knowledge now, let's say in healings, the powers that be will poo-poo that knowledge. They will say those that do it are quacks. That is pseudoscience, that is not real. Yeah, as soon as we go that way, mainstream will tell you, oh, that's not real. Yeah, that they're just deceivers, they're just quacks. But they themselves use that knowledge again, not for healing, not for benefiting humanity, but to give themselves a military advantage. Knowledge is power. That is the only thing they can see. Knowledge is power. Because that is who they are. So really, where did we come from? Well, we came from this earth to start with. We were creatures of this earth. This is our home. We were elevated out of the natural system by giving us a brain capacity that we shouldn't have had at that time. They did it so we could serve them. So we could bring in the harvest for them and the wine and the beer and they were rather fond of that. They were technological beings. And those that prepare the bride right now are preparing the bride for full disclosures, for aliens are coming, that they are laying the technological groundworks in this world. The technocrats are preparing the world for the return of Jesus. And then it will start all over again. And we can serve them. We can bring in their food to our godly lords. And they will use us as their workers. They will use us in their wars. And yeah, they will cull us when there is too many of us. I do believe that is happening at the moment, and that is biblical too. That is what they do. They wipe out certain amounts of humanity because we belong to them. This world belongs to them. While they can, I don't want to say what they can do. We were the creatures of this world to start with. And we have to find our way back. Somehow find a niche for ourselves again in this system, in this nature, in this world. Where we can function here as a part of this system and not apart from it, away from it. And spirituality is the way that will show us out, to show us our way home. Anyway, folks, I will leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.